Hey YouTube, and we're back. Brandon Beatty Trance. Yeah, so it's been a minute. We took a break. I left you guys off on a high note that we had gotten the track we were working on it signed by State Control, and in that time I did get another track signed, and I finished a couple more tracks, and we'll see where it kind of takes us. And so I want to take this video to just kind of warm you guys back up, welcome you into season 3. This video is going to be kind of the FAQ to season 2. So the frequently asked questions, and just kind of talk about the how that season went, plans for the next season, and we're going to get back into making some videos because if you guys want to congratulate me, I quit one of my many jobs, but uh, basically I quit like running around so much. It was tiring me out, and my soul. I want to make music, guys. Like, I'm not happy. I was not. That's not me, and I'm done spending that energy. I'm gonna come back. I've been really refining my sound for the last few months. Um, really pushing to be a reoccurring artist and break through the scene. Okay, guys. So, as much as these tutorials are here, they're also not complete because this is how I'm making music today. And I can only show you where I'm at. I can't take you to Armin van Buren level because I'm not there yet. So I appreciate all of you guys who watched the videos, who actually learned something, because again, I'm not like all the way to the top. I would love to be there. I'm working there, but that comes with hard work, dedication, time. But again, wherever I'm at in the hierarchy, those of you who have learned, I'm really grateful for that. But that being said, I'm also still learning. I feel like I'm not looking at the camera. I'm also still learning, and I'm refining my sound. And I have a feeling the next evolution of sound is going to be fantastic for you guys. And so I just want to say, look, if you find it in your hearts, if you want to buy me a cup of coffee, that keeps me going. I'll put a link in if you guys want to donate. Like, hey, a couple dollars gets me a cup of coffee, and that keeps me going. And I drink a lot of coffee in the process to make this music. So as you can see, here's another track I had kind of finished, but I need to. It's just missing something. It's not quite there because it didn't get signed. So I gotta fix it. I think it needs more time, or maybe it's just a bad idea. But anyways, all right, let's get into the actual video. Enough yapping. And all right, so how are we gonna do this? We're gonna pull up the community panel here. We're gonna go through the comments and answer some of your questions. All right. So I appreciate you, Trial 33. Wish you had my videos years ago. Yeah, listen, I'm just letting it all out there. I'm not holding back. And I promise I'm gonna just always do that. Do I share project files? Not typically, just because I use too many different plugins. So sorry, the question was, do I share any project files? No, only because you would need so many specific plugins. Uh, I could share some MIDI files, but there's really nothing to share. I think for the most part, I'm using a lot of sample packs. So unfortunately, I can't share too much with you guys. But feel free if you need any specific elements, you can ask. Maybe I can help you out. But oh yes, and Camilla Warna. So yes, his question is, thanks for the video, super helpful for getting the kick and bass levels right. Oh, this isn't even to the season, but okay, he's talking about how do you bring in the other elements afterwards, and what VU values do you aim for? Yeah, so that was about gain staging. So I do talk about that in depth in some of these other videos. Basically, we're trying to get everything leveled out on the VU meter, or not VU meter, but the span. But I can't, unfortunately, I can't answer this question in this video because that's going to make this video too long. I'm pretty sure we talk about this in the series. So I think if you watch the whole series, you'll cover this. This is just a little video, the match your sub and kick levels. I'll probably do that better and make another one. I appreciate it. So this guy says I have a high level of skill. Well, I've been doing it for a long time, and it's it's been painful to get to this point. Amazing, beautiful track. Oh, thank you, thank you. So he thought that was beautiful. So love to see the creation of the supersaws and piano to trigger some ideas for melodies, and how I layered the synths. Yeah, so yeah, how do I layer the synths? Basically, when it comes to the supersaws, I really have a couple. I do have like a formula I like to use, and I will use like a core supersaw, maybe like a brighter one, and definitely an attack saw, and maybe something like a body type saw. So I do assemble about 4 different uh, saw patches together, and put them together. But that's really where you got to design your own sound. You got to really figure out which saw patches work for you. Get yourself. This is where I say, you know what, you got to live inside your sample packs. So you got to pull up like, look, man, you got to pull up one of your sample packs. Or not even sample pack. I'm sorry. You got to pull up one of your patch banks and like live in it. I mean, like open up your patch bank and literally one at a time play through every one of these sounds and see what sounds inspire you, especially when it comes to the lead. And I go from there. So, for instance, I'll find a super saw lead that stands out to me. I'll play something, and usually the lead will inspire the melody, and then from there, depending on how the lead is at that point, I'll add another synth to it to reinforce it. Again, it depends on what the lead is that you're working with. So let's see what other FAQ. Thanks for these episodes. You appreciate it. You're welcome, sir. The morphing orb. Thank you, sir. Thank you, guys. Thank you for all the great comments. He's loved the trance since the 90s, passing on the knowledge. And that's what it's about. I can compress like a decade of knowledge and into one video and give it to you guys. And he's enjoyed the video. So, any other questions? Oh, shoot. I don't know what this guy has said. You can use, okay, somehow I answered his question. I must have used ChatGPT to transcribe it, but it was something to do, again, more like another gain staging question. And I think that just kind of highlights, guys, like out of everything that I've learned in my years of production, it was the gain staging. Once I started paying attention to gain staging, the rest started to fall into place. And if you don't understand gain staging, it's like you're just going to open up the synth and start playing and press record and then try to mix stuff together, and you don't know why it's not working. And again, to talk about what is gain staging real quick, it's when we go through a sound. Let's go to like our sub bass here. I have a sub bass sample. You probably can't even hear that. Or you know what, we'll do the piano. Piano is a good example of gain staging. So here, so I have here's the VST piano, and the very first thing I do is I put it through a VU meter, and I make sure that this meter is not going past 0. That's the very first step of every sound you put in. Because if I didn't do that, look at this. Look how loud that sound is. And that's just straight out of the synth right there, okay? That's right out of the piano synth. It's very, very loud. Now, why is gain staging important? Well, the plugins are not really ready to accept audio at such a loud volume. Now, some can. Nowadays, it doesn't really matter. But some of these plugins, they work better when you have this lined up to 0. And then they'll just work more like how you expect. You won't have to crank some of these knobs. Anyways, gain staging. So now I know in some of my future videos, we're going to really focus on gain staging. And let's see, what else have you guys said? Dang. Yeah, I'm going to have to figure out how to translate this. I didn't even... Oh, translate selection to English. Thank you very much. If possible, please make a video about this. I am grateful. I am grateful to you. So, sorry, I should be reading this. Thank you very much. If possible, please make a video about this. I would be very grateful. Overall, your lessons are good because I couldn't find a lesson like this with balance. I am grateful to you. Yeah, so we're... Yeah. So this, again, gain staging is going to be like the main thing. Can we increase the volume? Yeah, my voice has been too quiet. Okay. Oh, and the last thing we'll talk about is song structure. So we will definitely make a video about gain staging. I probably said that word like 20 times already. And this question, can you explain more about the different sections in trance song structure in this video? I don't have a clear idea about some sections you mentioned in the video. Expanding the initial 8 or 16 bar loop into a good arrangement. Okay. Yeah. Well, the different sections of trance, I did talk about it in the video. I think, okay. So if we're going to sum up everything that I've learned in the last like 10 years, it's gain staging. Again, said that word again. And it would be processing, right? Because first you got to gain stage the sound. You got to make sure it's the right level. Then you got to process it, which is what's happening here. So we're taking the sound, we're putting it through delay, through reverb, we're using the EQ to sculpt it. Okay. We put it through a compressor. And that's the processing chain. So just like you're cooking, you don't eat raw meat. Right? We have to maybe we'll say cook it to the right temperature, which is what this Britson thing is. If we undercook it, it's not going to be good enough, and if it's overcooked, it's going to be burnt. You can almost use that analogy to music. And once we get the right temperature or level of the music, then we got to put it through some sauce. You don't just eat the chicken plain. We got to put a little salt on it. So here's some salt, little delay, some pepper, which is the reverb, and again, that fab filter. We're gonna sculpt it, and so that's your processing chain. So paying attention, having a good processing chain, paying attention to your stereo field. Okay, this is all very important, and that separates the amateurs from the pros. Song structure, especially in trance, is so important because the song has to do something. So you're asking a question, you don't understand the sounds in the structure, or like where the sounds go, and you don't understand like the purpose. The purpose of each part of the structure is to take the music somewhere. We're always trying to get somewhere. Usually we're trying to get to the end, but before we get to the end, we need to get to the middle, right? So each part of the song structure is trying to lead us to the next part of the song. And so what elements go into what part of the structure? Well, that depends. It depends on your track, and that's the art. That was the arranging side of it that I said, hey, it's your choice where you put some of these elements, right? There's some tracks the piano doesn't come in until later. There's some tracks the piano is right at the beginning. I have a track where you don't hear the super saw, like this one here. You don't hear the super saw till the very middle of the track. But then there's some tracks where the super saw is a major part in the beginning. Okay. So again, that depends on your music, and so you should try different things and see what happens, and then you got to let the music take you somewhere. So I notice if I put a super saw somewhere in the front, the music starts having more drive, it has more energy, and because it has more energy, now I have to accommodate that. So now I got to put more elements into the music to match the energy, right? But the point is that we're building the music up with elements. All right, each part is adding or taking away elements, and by adding or taking away, we're pushing the listener, pushing the music into somewhere, okay? And so you got to try different things. You got to see what it's like if we turn off the open hat in the middle of the track, or add an open hat in a random spot and let it go from there, or add the ride in, and try things you don't expect, because I think it's when we try to do these rules and stuff like that. So I'm hiding behind the microphone. That's when it gets boring. So anyways, I know I didn't really play any music for you guys, but we're back with season 3. We're gonna make driving peak time trance, sort of like a hybrid. I think this is my sound. I think I kind of figured out my sound. It's somewhere between like a peak time hybrid trance and uplifting trance, and like some kind of cinematic, and it's a blend of everything. I want to touch on like psychedelic tones. I want to hit that emotional cinematic piano, and I also want that classic uplifting, right? Yeah, that's right, guys. But all right, guys, hey, stay tuned. We're going to do some awesome stuff this year. All right, we're going to push this music further and higher. And I want to hear from you guys. So whatever you guys have made from my last tutorial, or even the one before that, I will do a viewer kind of track review. So send your tracks in, guys, and we'll do a review. So let me know if you send it in. If you don't want me to include it in a video feedback review, just say, hey, don't show my track to anybody. I won't show it. I'll listen to it privately. But if you want me to listen to your track on stream or something like that, we'll review them, give you guys some feedback, and we'll spread some joy, the joy of trance, guys. Trance music, my love. You guys must love it too if you're here, if you stuck around for this long. So, all right, hey, Peace out, guys. See you on the next video.